Dude, I'm a digital native, you know? I've touched a tablet before. Is it debunking? Yeah. Did it get debunked? I think it's debunked. Okay, so debunking AI. Here we go. Who is Alex Honnold? Alex Honnold is a world-renowned American rock climber, best known for his free solo ascents, meaning it climbs without ropes or safety gear. And that is basically the answer that I would give. Well-known American rock climber is known for climbing without safety gear. Like, totally fair. What is Alex Honnold best known for? Alex Honnold is best known for his free solo climb of El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. Again, I think that's a totally fair answer. I probably am best well known for free soloing El Cap in Yosemite because that's what's documented in the film Free Solo, which is probably the most mainstream thing that I've ever done. How did Alex Honnold get into rock climbing? Answer. Alex Honnold started rock climbing at age 5 in a local gym, became obsessed early on, and eventually left college to pursue outdoor climbing full time. That's kind of true. I think I maybe went to a gym once when I was 5. I would say I started climbing when I was 10. I think I went to a birthday party basically once as a child and thought it was cool. And then a gym opened closer to where I lived when I was 10. So I started actually climbing as a 10-year-old. But yeah, and then I did leave college after a year and started climbing full-time outdoors. Basically sort of true. What can we expect from Season 5 of Planet Visionaries? AI answers. Season 5 of Planet Visionaries is expected to feature inspiring global changemakers across disciplines, continuing its focus on creativity, innovation, and transformation. And that's a great answer from AI, honestly. I've already done many of the interviews for Season 5, and that's exactly who I've been interviewing, basically inspiring people who are doing incredible work to help protect the natural world around us. Which guests will be featured in Season 5? Season 5 of Planet Visionaries features guests like Mark Ruffalo, Ed Viesturs, Chris Tompkins, and Sylvia Earle, highlighting global leaders in conservation and climate action. Yeah, that's basically true. So I've already interviewed Mark Ruffalo and Chris Tompkins for Season 5, and they're already in Season 5. Ed Viesturs, I think, was from Season 4 or Season 3, but I did interview him for Planet Visionaries. Sylvia Earle has appeared in a couple seasons. I mean, she's an incredible conservationist. I'm not sure if I'm going to talk to her again for Season 5 or not, but basically I think AI did a good job answering this, but it's a mix of guests from different seasons. Has something that I take from it that I hold on to. What's harder? Free soloing a 1,000-foot rock face or convincing an entire village to plant 1 million trees? AI says, Alex Honnold believes that while free soloing tests physical and mental limits, convincing an entire village to plant 1 million trees is an even greater challenge. This is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think in a general sense, conservation challenges are more daunting than rock climbing challenges. I mean, the thing about climbing challenges is that the goals are so clear, the objective is simple. You basically just work on it until you do it, and then you do a hard climb. Climbing is just so simple compared to conservation challenges. If I've learned anything from interviewing all the guests on Planet Visionaries is that there's it's so important to build coalitions, build teams. Like, conservation only happens in partnership with tons of different people and like bringing groups together to protect wild places. And that is fundamentally more challenging than walking up to a cliff by yourself and climbing it. It just requires a lot more things aligning. Yeah, I mean, if conservation was easy, everyone would be doing it. But sadly, it's not that easy. If Alex Honnold successfully climbs Taipei 101, would Alex Honnold climb the Burj Khalifa? Alex Honnold is unlikely to climb the Burj Khalifa because it's not designed for free soloing, doesn't align with his natural rock climbing focus, and poses extreme safety and logistical challenges. That's actually an interesting, I feel like that's AI hedging its bets. So I actually have scouted the Burj Khalifa for building climbing for a TV project in the past, and the Burj Khalifa is climbable. You can climb it. It's very hard. It would be very hard to free solo the Burj Khalifa. It's possible, but it would kind of be like the El Cap of buildings. I would have to devote myself to it. I'd have to move to Dubai and work on the building for quite a long time. I'd have to nail the conditions and, the timing, everything would have to align. But it's certainly possible. I think a lot of things would have to come together for me to consider free soloing the Burj Khalifa. It's not an obvious answer. When I scouted it in the past, the first time I scouted it, I was like, this is a hard no, this is way too hard. And then the second time I scouted, I was like, actually, it is possible. And it's, I could do it. And then I started thinking about wearing a parachute, actually, because on the Burj, if you did fall off, you just fall straight down the building. So you actually could kind of wear like a military style, straight down teardrop parachute. Kind of like, you could imagine sort of safety protocols like that, even though it would be so scary to fall 2,000 feet down the face of a building with a little parachute. It's I don't know. It would be very challenging. The Burj is really hard to climb, but it's possible. How far in advance does Alex Honnold prepare for each climb? AI says, Alex Honnold typically prepares months to even years in advance for major climbs, especially free solo projects. Yeah, depending on the climbing project, I spend months or years working on it. In some ways, that's a little disingenuous because basically I've been climbing 5 days a week for 30 years. So I basically just climb all the time. And so it's not always training for a specific project or something. Often I'll have some kind of big free solo goal or dream of mine sitting on sort of the back burner, and I'll keep training nonstop and doing other climbs to eventually build up to it. So it's not as if I was training for that climb for years. I'm basically just climbing because I love climbing, and then every once in a while. Yeah, but basically I'm climbing all the time, and I'm always thinking about potential future goals. Does Alex Honnold always climb by himself? AI says, no, Alex Honnold does not always climb by himself. While he's famous for soloing, he often climbs with partners. He frequently climbs with other top climbers like Tommy Caldwell. That's totally true. I climb by myself occasionally, like a handful of days a year, really. But most of the time I'm climbing with partners. I'm training indoors, I'm bouldering, doing other things, climbing with my wife. So most of the time I'm climbing with people, and then occasionally I go by myself. Does Alex Honnold ever keep any snacks in his chalk bag? AI says, yes. In interviews, he's mentioned that he keeps energy bars, nuts, dried fruit, or even granola bars. I definitely don't keep any snacks in my chalk bag because my chalk bag is just for chalk. But in my climbing bag or my backpack or my pocket, I carry all kinds of little snacks. So yeah, dried fruits and nuts and bars and whatever else. I think all my climbing snacks are pretty straightforward. Basically just bars and things like energy products, just whatever you expect. What is Alex Honnold's favorite food? AI says chocolate chip cookies. And I would say that's my favorite dessert. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite food group or else I'd have diabetes. Yeah, no, I do love chocolate chip cookies. What fictional mountain in any series or film would Alex Honnold most likely climb? AI says the Lonely Mountain, Erebor from The Hobbit. If I were going to climb a fictional cliff or mountain, the thing that immediately comes to mind is the Cliffs of Insanity from The Princess Bride from childhood, with a hand over handing a rope up this giant cliff. It's just so impressive. But I think the Cliffs of Insanity are pretty good. The Princess Bride is a classic. What's the most unexpected item Alex Honnold always keeps in his van? One somewhat unexpected item that Alex Honnold keeps in his van is a fridge. Just small, basic, but enough to store things like an apple, some milk, or hummus. That's strangely specific from AI. And also, is it unexpected to keep a fridge in a camper van? Because that seems pretty normal. But no, I don't think I keep anything too unexpected in my van. Basically my van is built out like a normal little camper van. So it has, a bed and a stove and a fridge and all the things you expect from a little RV. I don't know, the unexpected stuff might just be all the climbing gear, like all the stuff you have to keep to climb mountains. Crampons, ice axes, like all this random gear to climb mountains and rock climb. Who is Alex Honnold's favorite fictional character? AI says Frodo Baggins. I don't know where that came from because I wouldn't consider myself a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Though obviously I've read the books and seen the films, but I don't know who my favorite fictional character is, but it's definitely not Frodo. By the end of the series, it's like, oh, the weight of the ring, so oppressed. I'm like, who cares? I hate that stuff. Well, it's so tedious by the end. You're like, oh, just get rid of the ring already. Who is better at climbing a wall, Spider-Man or Alex Honnold? In real life, Alex Honnold is the better climber, but in the fictional world, Spider-Man's superpowers give him the edge. I think Spider-Man is all around a better climber than me. But I try my best. I think overall AI did pretty well with a lot of this. Some of it's just totally made up. It's all pretty close, but whether or not it's actually true is kind of different. All right, thanks for listening. This is Alex Honnold from Planet Visionaries. Check out season 5 out now. And this was Debunking AI for Screen Rant. What a pleasure.